Hi everyone. Um, so we're at the park here today doing this podcast. Hopefully the audio sounds okay. Uh, I've got a slight cough today, and I'm facing the sun. That way, you guys can visually see my face. Which you'd probably be able to see my face even if I was on the shadier side. But I don't know. I thought this might be better. But anyways, guys, this would be podcast 79 if I'm not mistaken. I really just wanted to put out a podcast for you guys. Haven't had a guest. So I just really wanted to put something out. I'm not even sure what this podcast is going to be about. I'm really not sure. But I just know that I wanted to be here with you guys, and I wanted to do this podcast. And I think one of the things that immediately comes to my mind, talking to you guys, the audience, all you guys who have been supporting me, and whoever you might be listening right now, which, whether you know it or not, you're supporting me. I just want to say thank you so much to all of you guys, because this project, The Art of Human, has definitely been something that's helped me a lot in my journey of happiness. Because that's really where this project all stemmed from. I literally went to the park in November of 2019, and I wrote in my journal that every day moving forward, I wanted to pursue my own happiness. And even before I wrote that in my journal, this project was already in the making, and the first podcast actually came out in December of 2019. So this podcast has been very close to me in this journey, in this process. I could definitely go back and look at some podcasts or listen to some podcasts, and I could see my own individual growth by the things that I was saying and the things that I would be saying as the episodes progressed, the way I was saying it, from the beginning to then moving forward. I see the way that I communicate has been evolving. I see that the things I've been talking about has been evolving. I see that just my entire existence, or me being, is constantly evolving and in a positive direction, but that's only possible without the support of you guys, and so many other things that have happened. The support from my family, the support from myself, me putting the conscious effort to challenge myself in different ways, to be brutally honest with myself, to cry with myself, with other people, to challenge myself, to challenge my fears, to do so many different things. And this podcast has definitely been a huge challenge, because I think what I've come to realize is that one of my biggest challenges in life has always been communication. To really just be brutally honest with people around me, and just to say things that are on my mind, and not shy away, and just being honest, not only just communicating, but communicating in an honest way. And for anybody who's on a similar journey of being happy and being honest with themselves, I can definitely say that it takes time, and no matter how much you want to improve or how much effort you put in a singular day, if your journey is anything like mine, progress happens after an extended period of time. It doesn't happen overnight. As much as you consciously think that you're 100%, there's likely you still have more work to be done. That's something that I found out for myself. I was saying a lot of times that I was happy, but I was just living an illusion. In fact, I've most recently come to realize that I may have been suffering my whole life from something called PHD, perfectly hidden depression. And so even on this journey of this podcast, I think oftentimes, maybe during the podcast and even outside the podcast, I was kind of not being honest with myself, in the sense that I was just being very happy, or acting happy, but it was like a fake happiness. And maybe that's me judging myself too harshly right now, but I think that's the reality. And that's pretty much it. This podcast is pretty short. We're at 4 minutes and 59 seconds, 5 minutes now. And that's really, I think, what I really wanted to come here and say, was just to kind of catch you guys up with my current state, what's going on, how I feel about everything, and really also just to give you guys some love, Yeah, I mean, we got some podcasts definitely coming out. My friend Andy should be coming on pretty soon. He's confirmed that he'll be a guest. We're just kind of working out the details as to when. We should have another guest coming on from India pretty soon. Just also waiting on that. I guess what I would say, if anybody was here listening and you're here on the podcast and you enjoy the podcast, and if you're following the content, and if you do enjoy listening to me, and if maybe you're in need of motivation right now in this moment, I would just say that the universe, the way it functions, it's always changing, it's always evolving. That's the one thing that you can constantly expect, is that things are always going to be changing, things are always going to be evolving. So whatever your current state of living is right now, it could change. Like I mentioned earlier, from constant effort and just from just being more vulnerable deep inside yourself, but also by being vulnerable and open with the world, the external world, with your family, with your friends, with the random people that you might meet. Be open to suggestions, be open to different perspectives and ideas, and especially with the people who maybe even trigger you the most, but you know that they love you. Be open to it. Don't resist the idea of what people might be mentioning to you. Like, I think, hey, Christian, I think actually, what my brother was telling me this weekend is like, dude, I think you're actually like, you're like, in essence, like over judging yourself. Like, I'm just like saying all these things about, like me needing to communicate more and me needing to do all these different things. But my brother's like, you already know what you need. My brother's like, you've been doing it. You've been focusing your throat chakra. You've been communicating. You've been loving people. You've been putting in work on the podcast. You've been, he just basically reminded me like, yo, dude, like you've been doing shit, because I was kind of on that thing where it's like, oh, I need to do that next thing. But my brother like very firmly, told me that, bro, you've been putting in the work. And that's why I mentioned to you guys, like, be open to the universe, be open to your close friends, be open to strangers, be open to what people are telling you, because oftentimes the universe is really just trying to communicate with you, and you just need to have faith in the external world, and that's what I'm coming to realize. Have faith in your friends, have faith in the community that you live in. Have faith in the compassion and the nice and the thoughtfulness that people share with you, and be compassionate towards yourself. You got to love yourself. And I think that's something that I hadn't been really focusing on too much lately, is just really just reminding myself of everything that I've been accomplishing with regard to the podcast, with regard to like everything, And so I guess, I'm here to remind myself right now that I've been busting my ass. I've been putting out, this will be podcast 79. My homie, one of my best friends, Ray, I just had a conversation with him, and he was like, yo, dude, like, I don't know. I'm just kind of, I know you guys, I'm not really paraphrasing the whole conversation, but there was a point in time where he was just like, yeah, I mentioned my podcast to my brother. And then when my brother went to go check it out, he's like, damn, he's got a lot of episodes, and things like that. It's just like, yeah, this is like a huge deal for me, to be honest with you guys. Like, before this project started, I didn't have anything. I didn't really have a creative outlet. I didn't never publicly like shared anything like this, And I've never been the best with like technology, but like I'm out here, I've uploaded, now it would be with this podcast, 79 podcasts, uploaded like, I think like 40 of them on YouTube. Been creating thumbnails, been creating, all these snippets that you see on Instagram. I've been, like creating content with subtitles, with filters. I've been experimenting. I've been, you know, creating the emails, replying to people, reaching out to people to come on the podcast. I've been driving like literally an hour, 30 minutes. You know, I'll drive to people's houses to do podcasts. Probably, I don't know, I've probably driven like 2 hours to get to someone's house. Who knows? Like, I don't really know. All I know is that I've done a lot, man. You know, I've done talking with strangers where I literally just went up to random strangers, which was like frightening to me, but I still did it. You know, I literally did my first talking with strangers at Griffith Observatory. I literally went to Griffith. I parked like a mile away from like the actual observatory. And then I only had an hour parking, so I busted my ass. I literally ran up the fucking hill, went into the, like, you know, I went and I fucking recorded, and I put up a fucking sign that said, you know, whoever wants to do a podcast with me. And like, you know, I literally went up to people and just asked them if they wanted to do the podcast with me. I don't think anybody actually came up and said, hey, I want to do it. Like, I went out and I reached out to people who were walking by, and you know, and then people looking at me, and I'm here at the fucking park right now. You know, some people probably looking at me like, what's this guy doing? But honestly, I'm not very fazed by it right now. I feel a lot more comfortable in my skin right now than I did at the start of this project, you know, which has already been over a year. And I don't think I ever celebrated. Actually, I think I did do a podcast where I kind of talked about it, but you know, never really talked about it too much. But we've been doing this podcast for over a year. If we started in December of 2019 and right now we're in June of 2021, we've been doing this shit for like a year and a half, like almost on the dot, if not on the dot. So, you know, we're here to fucking celebrate. You know, we're here to fucking celebrate. For all you guys who've been following the content, you know, you guys been following, if you guys been here since the beginning, which I know some of you guys have, like, you guys been with me on this journey for a year and a half, guys. And, you know, take the time to reflect on yourself the way I'm doing with myself right now. Because I'm sure as hell you'll be surprised by it. Like, wow, you know what? I've come a long way. You know, you'll be fucking surprised, man. Because I really do think that people, like, we gravitate towards each other. And if you're here listening to this podcast, and if you're here at minute 12 minutes and 21 seconds, maybe it's a little bit further along because you guys had an intro maybe to this podcast. Or, you know, fuck that. I'm actually just going to not put an intro just so that that time was actually accurate. You know, if you're here with me at minute 12:34, like, you know, you're here for a fucking reason. You're here listening to me, watching this shit on YouTube for a fucking reason. The universe lined this shit up for the two of us, for you to be here. It's not by coincidence. And it's not by coincidence. If you're putting in work, like I'm putting in work right now, talking to all you motherfuckers. I'm out here talking to myself. I'm out here just no one's telling me you should do a podcast, Christian. Oh, Christian, you need to do a podcast. Oh, Christian, you should be out here talking to people and motivating people, and you should be loving yourself. No one's telling me that shit. I'm just here fucking doing it. You know, so be proud of yourself too for whatever the fuck you might be doing. You know, even the fucking small things. You fucking, you know, you bought a cake for someone, or you know, you thought about someone the other day and you sent them a text message to check in on them. You know, be proud of yourself for the acts of kindness that you do. Because that's powerful. That's really powerful. And you got to love yourself every single fucking day. And just give your best effort, man. And if you're like me and you're if you've been spending a lot of time by yourself, or maybe you've been spending a lot of time not by yourself, you know, remember, you got to find the right balance for you. You know, you got to line up all your chakras. You know, you got your crown chakra, third eye chakra, throat chakra, your heart chakra, your solar plexus chakra, your sacral chakra, your root chakra. If you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about and you want to know more about it, I don't know, send me a DM. Check the link in the description. Send me a fucking message on IG. And let's talk about it. I could tell you a little bit more of what I know about. You know, let's fucking communicate. Like, if you want to know more about chakras, you want to know my opinion, my perspective on it, you thought that shit sounded interesting right now, like, let's fucking go. Talk to me. You know, that's another thing I've been coming to realize. Like you want to do something, you like something, you think someone's interesting, you think what someone's saying is interesting, you think this concept's interesting, you want to know more about something that you think is interesting. Like, just fucking do it. Reach out to the person. Do whatever you gotta do. You know, we're not that far apart. Like, we're all fucking connected as fuck. Like, I'm on some serious shit. Like, people be famous, but you could still get in contact somehow. You might go to an In-N-Out tonight, and you might be a huge Jaden Smith fan, and you just so happen to run into, like, Jaden's producer. Like, that's literally how close-knit this whole fucking bullshit is, guys, on some serious shit. Like, I just so happen to live in LA, so that's like a real example. Like, I met a friend who knew Jaden, and I'm like a huge Jaden fan. Oh, she didn't meet Jaden, but she knew someone who knew like the Smith family, some shit like that. But bottom line, what I'm trying to fucking say is like you can get it, man. I think I saw this post by Crone Gracie. He's a fighter that I really like, spiritual guy, really fucking awesome guy who I look up to. And you know, he made a video Instagram on his story, and it was like, and I forgot what he said. It was something like, "We finally made it" or some shit. And he was just like recording like inside of a house, and he started recording on this like poster that he had, and the poster was like Albert Einstein, and the poster said something to the extent of like, you know, whatever you desire, like just go at the frequency that, like move to the frequency that you want, and like it's not by chance, like it's science, like you're going to match up like that, like work for the reality that you want, it'll come to fruition. It's physics. It's not some fucking pseudoscience type shit. Like, it's really fucking science, you know. That's what Albert Einstein said, the motherfucker who we all talk about when it comes to physics and science, and you know, he's the fucking man to look up to when it comes to that kind of shit. And that's what he says, you know. So whatever kind of future you want, even if it's so simple like mine right now that I just want to be happy, you know, just fight for that shit. Just fight for it. You know, fight for it. Be honest when the world asks you how you're doing. If you're not feeling good, don't tell the fucking world you're doing good. You know, because when you tell the world, when you really are honest with the world and you tell the world you're not doing good, then the world fucking reaches out and says, hey, you know what? Like, hey, what's going on? And, you know, you could talk about it and they could help you. And maybe they'll say, hey, you know what? Matter of fact, I was going to be in the area tomorrow. You know, you want to hang out, maybe get a burger? You never fucking know. But the world's not going to know until you start telling the world, like, honestly, what the fuck's going on with you. You know? You just got to be honest with the world. Be brutally honest. And be honest with yourself. And quit fucking doing quit doing shit to get something in return. Like, start doing shit to actually appreciate the process, you know? To appreciate the person, you know? That's it for today, folks. I really hope you guys found some value. If you liked it, send me a DM on some real shit. Let me know. Let me know that you like that shit. Let me know that you didn't like that shit. Leave your comments. Let's connect. Let's be on some real shit so that we can grow together. On some real shit.